Welcome back to our third episode of All Sports Podcasts. And finally, we have made it to the end. I will be finalizing on all the news, highlights, and scores of Week 5 in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers versus the Detroit Lions. This was a very good game for Mr. Cam Newton, the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. And he showed he was very focused on football, throwing 3 touchdowns that helped the Carolina Panthers build a lead big enough to hold off the Detroit Lions for a 27-24 win Sunday. The Miami Dolphins versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, personally, this was a very boring game to watch, but here we go. Let's talk about it. Jay Cutler, the quarterback for the Dolphins, finally silenced all the boos going on in the crowds toward him with a fourth quarter touchdown pass, and the Miami Dolphins overcame another dismal offense showing Sunday to beat the Tennessee Titans 16-10. Now here's some stats on Jay Cutler. He went 12 for 26 on completions, 92 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, and we can all see why he got very many boos from the crowd that day. And the Miami Dolphins go to a 2-2 record, as do the Titans go to a 2-3 record. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. The quarterback for the Rams, Jared Goff, has been proving himself very much this season, but the Seahawks shut him and the high-scoring Rams down for a 16-10 victory. Russell Wilson passed for 198 yards and a touchdown, and Earl Thomas forced 2 of the Rams' 5 turnovers in the Seattle Seahawks' 16-10 victory over the Rams on Sunday. Finally, to finish out the Sunday night, the Chiefs played the Houston Texans. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Houston Texans 42-34 on Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs took a 23-7 lead in the first half and led by 39-20 at one point in the fourth quarter, but Deshaun Watson was relentless in the second half. Alex Smith, the quarterback for the Chiefs, kept his team ahead, going 29 for 37 in completions for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's probably going for MVP right now, actually. And Deshaun Watson went for 16 for 31 completions for 261 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was on my fantasy team, and he did pretty good for me, actually. DeAndre Hopkins finished with 3 touchdowns for Houston, and Kareem Hunt had a 108 rushing yard game for Kansas City, as the Kansas City Chiefs remain undefeated. Monday Night Football with the Vikings versus the Bears. The Minnesota Vikings have defeated the Chicago Bears 20-17 on Monday Night Football. And the Vikings stifle Mitchell Trubisky, the second overall pick of the NFL Draft, in his debut, with a win on a last-minute field goal. So here's some stats on the game. Trubisky went 12 for 25 for 119 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, while the Vikings quarterback was actually Case Keenum. He actually replaced Sam Bradford, and he went 17 for 21 for 140 yards and a touchdown. The Vikings improved to 3-2 record, while the Bears fall to a 1-4 record. To finish off Week 5, there was a trade involved. The Arizona Cardinals acquire Adrian Peterson from the New Orleans Saints. So the New Orleans Saints just picked him up on the offseason, and he has worked all his way to try to get a starting spot, but he only had 81 yards on the season and did not get much play time. So the Cardinals picked him up because their running back went down, David Johnson, all season, so they needed a running back to step up, and Adrian Peterson is there. So Adrian Peterson will have a major role in Arizona, and we might see him next week in the red uniform. So overall, this was a very interesting week of football, of course, because it consisted of many injuries that will potentially hurt the franchises, such as J.J. Watt, the star defensive end of the Texans, and Odell Beckham Jr., and Brandon Marshall of the New York Giants. But the highlight of the week was, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs going to a 4-0 record, remaining undefeated. I would like to thank you guys out there who are listening to this awesome podcast for all the sports news and updates. I hope to see you next time, because our next episode will include a different sport, maybe the MLB, the NBA, you never know. So see you then. Thank you for listening.